This is the frame I'm taking in the graft from. And I'm working kind of fast just for speed of keeping everybody warm. And now we're going to run our frame of eggs back up to our bee lab and do a little grafting. So come along. Okay, now we're getting ready to do our grafting from a frame that we found that has some good larvae in it of the right age. And it's going to be probably difficult to see on the video. But in these cells, way down deep, we've got the larvae at the right age that we want. And we're going to pick it out. There's always some bees that follow along these frames that we bring in. But they never do bother us as we do our grafting. So you can see there's some pretty good larvae down there that's of the right age that we're going to enjoy grafting. Let me show you how we do it. Well, as you can see, we're ready to graft today. And I've got some good sealed brood right here in the middle. Some has emerged, and got some pockets of pollen. And now we have our 1 to 2 day old larva that we're seeing down here in the outer perimeter of the larger sealed brood area. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of poke my face up close and see what I'm doing, and graft some of these larvae so that we can move them over and start raising queens. Now, there's a lot of the proper age larvae that we see, but one of the things I'm noticing is that it doesn't have a ton of royal jelly, so it's going to make it a little more difficult this time of the year to scoop up the larva and drop it. But what you want to do, I'm using a Chinese grafting tool. You just insert it down into the cell and go under the larva that you want. Then you simply just drop it into your queen cell cup. It works good. Now, as I go along and I graft, I do want to put a wet cloth over my grafts that I've taken out to keep them from becoming too dry. Okay, so what you're looking for is maybe a 2 day old larva, 2 or 3 day old larva, about the size of a comma on a page. And then you just simply insert the Chinese grafting tool underneath the larva, scoop it up, and then carry it over and place it into one of the empty queen cells. And that's all it is to it. Now we have to take things back to the hive, these cells that we've grafted, and we keep them covered up like this. We're going to take back the frame as well as the grafts and do a little work there. As you can see, here's a young bee, very young in age. I'm holding her by her wings. She's pretty fuzzy, and bees at this age, only a day old, really don't have much ability to sting. They just don't have a hard stinger yet where they can sting. But they're very pretty at that young age. Well, we're back at the bee yard with our grafts, and as you can see, I'm walking around with them covered up with a wet paper towel, because sometimes they do dry out, the royal jelly does. So this keeps them moist until I get them back in the hive. What I have to do now is I have to insert them into a cell bar frame that they can be held into, and then I'll put them into the hive. Well, okay, what you can see is I've transferred the larva into one side of this hive, separated by a queen excluder, and I've shaken most of the bees to go on top of my grafts. And now it's going to take a few days for the bees to kind of get oriented, because one half is going to be coming out of a different location, in and out. The other half, most of my foragers will be bringing resources into where the queen cells are going to be.